What's going on, everybody? So today we got the infamous chondro prolapse video. You know it was coming eventually. Well, at least I did. Every single clutch I've ever gotten, I've gotten a prolapse in. So it's just kind of part of it whenever you breed these things. It is what it is. I'm really glad that I'm able to share this with some people. So hopefully this can help some people out in the future, or if you're watching just because you're curious or interested, or maybe you didn't even know that chondros can prolapse. Hopefully this video helps out some people. So what I'm going to show you guys today is basically my whole process for a baby chondro prolapse. The video is going to be chopped up a little bit because, you know, obviously it's filmed over time. It wasn't filmed all in one day. As you can tell, I had a baby chondro prolapse. I'm going to go ahead and show that footage right now of the first day that it prolapsed and what I did. So let's go ahead and show that footage, and then I'll show you the update after that. So what I'll do is I will take their perch out and I will replace their water dish with a very shallow one. Another good water dish is like basically like a soy sauce dish, you know, something that's just like very shallow. You don't want them perching. And what I'll do is kind of just get their tail like that, and I'll just take pure sugar, and some people will make a paste out of it, but I just use pure sugar, and I'll just pour it directly on it, just like that. And you want that prolapse to absorb that sugar, and it actually almost looks like it's going back in. Look at that. And I will just take some sugar and just let that soak in there, and I will leave this for an entire day. So I'll come back tomorrow, and if the prolapse is still out, then I will reduce it and I will show you what I do with that. As you can see, it recovered perfectly fine. It didn't prolapse again, and it pretty much just went straight back on food. It did shed twice within that 2-month period between prolapse and right now. Sometimes they do that whenever a chondro gets injured or sick or whatever. It'll send them into shed. So let's go ahead and feed this guy and show you guys how great of an eater it is. Just like that. So back on track. There's really nothing to stress out about too much. So as you can see, the chondro is fully recovered. It's perfectly fine now. This is not something to worry about or stress out about. The chondro is perfectly healthy. You can still breed it, you can still sell it, you can still do whatever you need to do with it. I have adult chondros in my collection that prolapse whenever they were neonates, and they're just like any other chondro. They're perfectly fine. The only thing I didn't do with this specific chondro is I didn't physically push the prolapse back in, but me and Bill Stiegel of Phoenix Reptiles did that with my last clutch, not this recent clutch, but the clutch before that. I had another prolapse, and we actually have the footage of us manually reducing that prolapse. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys right now.
Okay, so we have a freshly hatched green tree python baby that has prolapsed, our first and hopefully only prolapse of the season. This is a sarong locality type that Alex produced. Young for a prolapse baby in our experience. This baby's only had one meal and prolapsed. Usually we find that prolapse window to be between the 5th and 15th meal. So this is a baby that prolapsed. Alex treated it conservatively with sugar paste yesterday, and it did not completely go in. So we're going to manually reduce the prolapse today. About an hour ago, we put some Preparation H hemorrhoid cream ointment on the prolapse to let that soak in and work a little bit, shrink some of the tissues, and then we will use that same Preparation H on the probe as we're reducing the prolapse. So we're gonna get going here. Once I get this neo out, definitely best to have 2 sets of hands to do this. One person to kind of hold the snake, straighten the tail area of the snake, and then the other person to reduce it with the probe. The other thing we'll want to do before we reduce it is make sure that the area is cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Control the head here. And then my job as the helper is to maintain this area as straight as possible. So that's just Preparation H that's he's putting on that tissue. And then we'll look for the lumen. Pretty easy to find. And you can see the probe moving up towards the head of the snake, pretty deep, and just very gently. Trying to keep this tail as straight as possible. Come out.
Can you pinch the cloaca?
Sometimes that prolapse will try to come out at the end when you're pulling the probe back out. Usually we find a little bit of it to stick out.
There you go. Yeah.
And I'm just putting some firm pressure there. Maybe even just hold it like this for a minute. And then of course, we take the perches out of the tub for at least a week, and just a small water dish, try to prohibit the snake from really perching on anything. So, there we go, back reduced.
As you can see, if you do need to take those kind of measures, then it is a little bit more tricky to do stuff like that. But again, it's just stuff that you're gonna have to learn over time. If this sort of thing happens, it doesn't go in by itself with sugar, you probably will have to reduce it manually, and you really wanna have a probe kit on handy whenever you do that. And by probe kit, I mean one of these. So as you can see, I picked up for $5 at a reptile show. You'll want like the smallest one, because you're gonna have to manually reduce that prolapse, and you don't want to have to like be ordering one, you know, the day it prolapses or whatever. You want to have that on standby. I think that about covers it. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at Amazing Arboreals. I hope this helped somebody, or you found this interesting or whatever. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. I always enjoy hearing feedback and all that stuff. So have a good one, guys. I'll see you in the next one.